Hello, I'm Gabriel Baradee and I'm the fashion designer and founder of Shakkei Fashion here in Vienna. We are in my shop in the Shakkei Design Store, and I would like to present you the exhibition about zero waste fashion. Zero waste fashion is something that's very near to my heart, and I have been dealing with that a long time, for many years. It's a very great idea how to avoid waste in the making of a garment. In this exhibition, it's an interactive exhibition. You can always tap or scan more information, so you will have audio files and video files during the whole exhibition. Now, let's jump right into the theme. What is the problem here? Normally, when you have like a classic dress like this, you have all this fabric as a waste during the making of the garment. So all this would be discarded. And when you have a zero waste pattern, like this example I have done for my own label, it's been awarded with, for example, from the Ministry of Economical Protection. You have all this fabric, it's the half of the fabric. All the fabric is been used, so there is absolutely no waste that goes into trash, which is absolutely fantastic. Because of course it's always better to avoid waste than to think later what can we do with the waste. And if you think now, wow, that's a very modern or zeitgeist approach to resources and stuff, that's actually not true. And I would like to present you two very interesting cultural historical examples of a zero waste pattern. For example, here you have an Indian sari, a very beautiful pink sari. A sari is 6 meters of fabric draped very artistically around the body. So you have no excess, and on the end of the sari you will have like a little blouse underneath here in a jersey for a contemporary approach that will be used for this blouse. So you have absolutely no waste. And here on this side, it's from the label Royal Black Couture. It's an hakama, a very traditional Japanese trouser, which is very long, and you have the pleats almost like a skirt. The idea of zero waste here is very clear, because fabrics were expensive, fabrics are something valuable, and one wanted to avoid that one is throwing away this valuable and very precious material. It's like throwing away gold dust, if you want to say so. So there are a lot of approaches from a lot of cultures that we have exhibited now too here that have been this approach. And during the exhibition you will have a lot of historical examples. We collected some books, some examples, some examples from also competitions, and kimono of course is a very big example, and so on. And now I would like to talk a little bit about the pros and cons. I mean, the pros are very obvious. You don't have a lot of you don't have any waste in the making. So it's also, you don't throw away things, and it's very calculatable how much a garment costs, for example, because you know exactly the amount of fabric you are using. And on the contrary, it's very difficult to develop such patterns, because as a traditionally skilled designer, you are normally used to work 2D. You have the sketch, and then you make the pattern, and this is very two-dimensional approach, whereas the zero waste side, you will need a three-dimensional approach to it, whether it's draping on the mannequin, which requires a lot of technique and a lot of experience to do that properly, or nowadays we have great softwares that can help us do that. Also, a lot of zero waste patterns are very square, so it will be a bit difficult to have some garments that are more body fitted, for example. There are some cons you have to think. And of course, the grading is also, so the jumping from one size to another is very difficult, because almost a lot of zero waste patterns, this not my example, not, but for example, other approaches, they're limited to a certain fabric width. And this is an approach you have to think. So there are a lot of cons. And now I'm jumping to the part of the exhibition I'm most excited about, because we gathered a lot of designers here that will showcase their approaches, and also approaches that are not classical zero waste, like pre-consumer waste, but similar approaches. So if you follow me, this is a very beautiful wrap dress from Evelyn Gruppbauer, very beautiful with the ties, with the ruffles. So this is a very pure zero waste pattern. If we go further, we have also, it's more like an upcycling, or a way to prolong the life cycle of a material. For example, you have these potato sacks that are sewn into a bustier and a skirt, very nicely done. This is a work from Jutta Maria Gürt. And in the same approach, we have Linda Seekol. She does work a lot with men's suitings, old men's suitings, and really perfectly tailored them to fit like a ladies' wear outfit. I mean, this is a perfect example for, you need to have a really deep understanding of construction of the garment and the making of a garment and the technique and the handicraft of it. And if we go further, you have this zero waste pattern from Stephanie Kroth. She wrote a whole zero waste book about it, where you can sew your own garments. And for example, this would be also a classical zero waste pattern. Very beautifully jacket. If we go one, follow me, you have this, it's more an upcycling approach of Maas, Marlene Sabitzer. You have this very extraordinary dress with a lot of knitted parts, also tiny little parts of crocheted things she gathered, she collected, and then she patched. It's a patchwork approach to it. Then we have very, very beautifully crafted jacket from Susa Kreuzberger, also very beautifully made. The craftsmanship is incredible, also very necessary if you want to do some kinds of zero waste patterns. You need a very good understanding of craftsmanship. And here is something very extraordinary. You have this beautiful bags. They're inspired of the Japanese furoshiki bag. A furoshiki bag is a squared cloth, and it will be knotted so you have a bag. And this is exactly what Wally Jungwirth is doing here. She does actually headwear a lot, and she uses this headwear material to do this bag, and the whole width of the fabric is used here. So a very classical zero waste approach in accessory, for example. And if we go around the rack, you will have another approach, 3D print. You have this extraordinary jewelry, earrings from Nicola Brandmeier. It's a very sturdy sugar cane and corn plastic kind of, and only the material is used what you need for one earring, so there is also no waste. So it's a classical zero waste pattern, and 3D printing is a very technological approach to zero waste, let's put it that way. And as a last example, I would like to show you the bag collection of Katja Bilek in tubes, for example, or these things, they are made from the safety belts that would, safety belts need some very specific testing, and if they fail the testing, you have to discard the whole production. And this is like an overproduction from that. So extraordinary, beautifully bags. I hope you will have fun exploring the whole exhibition. If you can't make it live, there is a whole homepage of the Zero Waste exhibition. I'm very happy if you deal with them, with this matter, with this very interesting topic, and I hope to see you soon.